Name's David Tamasia. I'm with Cordia Energy Center San Diego, and I am the plant manager of the facility.
What does Energy Center San Diego do, and who do they provide chilled water for?
Energy Center San Diego provides chilled water through the downtown San Diego area. We provide cooling water that office buildings and customers use for their HVA systems. Some of our customers are office buildings, hotels, county jail, county courthouses, and various other customers. We have 5 chillers, a 1,500-ton chiller, a 2,000-ton chiller, a 2,200-ton chiller, and a 2,800-ton chiller, and then a 500-ton absorption chiller. Total capacity is about 7,900 tons. When I started in 2005, we were on the standard chemical treatment system where we used acid and corrosion inhibitors and biocides and all that stuff to maintain the chemistry in our cooling towers. I actually hated working with specifically the acid system because it is so dangerous, and just getting deliveries of acid was an ordeal, and getting suited up and hooking all the things up, and then all the precautions that you have to take to transfer the chemicals. Just that process alone of taking on 100 gallons of acid would last about 2 hours. Our chemical stations are exterior, and then at one time we had a chemical injection line that cracked, and during that time it was spraying acid on our brick wall and made a big hole in it. Luckily, we were able to isolate it fairly quickly and neutralize it and get it cleaned up.
Tell me, so in between the chemical, pure chemical approach and capture H2O, you ran with a different technology. Tell me about that and the results you got with that.
The system that they installed was supposed to get rid of the chemicals, which we were able to get rid of the acid in those chemicals, but it ended up causing huge scaling problems in our condensers, which we ended up having to replace 2 of the small oil coolers because they were so plugged up they couldn't be cleaned. And on one of the chillers, the condensers were so bad that one year when we went to clean them, we actually had to use solid rod to get through them.
Yikes. But as we step into the capture H2O portion, talk about your skepticism and how this was not something you were thrilled about.
I had my questions on it, and just coming off this other system that caused a lot of problems, I didn't have a lot of faith in the system doing what it was promised to do. I wasn't the boss at the time, so I just went along with it.
And so tell me about the deployment of the Capture H2O high cycle program. What did that look like? What was it like working with our team?
Yeah, during the install of the system, which was in 2013, they had hired a third-party company to come in to do the installation. And working with them, we got it deployed really quickly. It was a quick install, and they had it up and running within a couple of weeks. There was not an immediate change in it. I didn't really notice anything on the day-to-day operations. Doing the chemical testing that we do on a daily basis, that actually reduced the amount of time I was spending doing chemicals. Traditional chemical treatment was taking me close to about an hour to test everything and get it done. With this system, I could knock it out in about 15 minutes. I did not notice anything as far as operation-wise until we opened up the condensers for cleaning for the first time. Once we opened up the biggest condenser we had, I could see an immediate difference from what it was the year before. So I was surprised at that there was actually something happening.
What'd you see?
I could see a reduction in this amount of scale that was on the tube sheets, which was when we were on the other system was completely coated in scale. The second year we opened it up after being on a system, there was a very drastic change in the amount of scale within the condenser. When we started brushing the tubes on that one, we were actually able to get through all of the tubes with a normal tube brushing machine instead of using the solid rod. From that on, I just was amazed at how well the system worked and what it was doing. But then on the other end of it, I was kind of worried about what happens when all the scale's gone.
Okay, tell me more about that.
If it kept going that way, was it going to start taking metal away on the tubes, you know? But after the tubes basically cleaned themselves off because of the system, every time we open it up, a condenser to clean, we can basically just open it, look at it, and close it if we want to, because it's not really very dirty. We typically brush them just because we already have it open, but there actually is no need to brush them, as far as I'm concerned.
How about the corrosion piece? How's that looked?
The corrosion, I don't see anything on it. The tubes, whenever we do our eddy currents, all the eddy currents always come back good. The corrosion coupons that we send in for testing and analysis always come back good. We actually have a third party other than Capture H2O that does a monthly test for us, and all of their test results have been matching up with what we get from Capture.
And then bacteria. Have you had any bacteria issues, Legionella, anything?
No bacteria at all on this system. Even the thin film of green slime that you will see on a cooling tower, I don't have any of that on this system. I've seen systems that were just like a big moss bucket, and my towers are nice and clean.
Any drawbacks associated with the program?
The only drawback I have with my system here is during the winter time, during low load operations, when I don't have a lot of air blowing through the towers, I tend to get a drift, which causes a small salt buildup on the inlet louvers, which if we go up and wash them once a month, it comes right off. And it's just a matter of using a water hose, makeup water hose, to wash the inlet louvers off. So that's the only drawback I have, and the only time I have it is wintertime during light loads.
All right, David, what have the savings been?
We've been saving roughly 10 million gallons in water and about $180,000 in cost a year. The biggest involvement we have with the program is doing daily water tests to make sure everything stays within specs, and then adding salt to the brine tanks during normal daily operations to make sure the salt tanks stay full. And then washing off the inlet louvers during the winter time. That's basically it. The service from Capture H2O has been nothing but fantastic. I get along with the entire crew. The service tech comes at least once a month, and then whenever we have issues, he's always on call, on the spot, quick response, and always good results.
Last but not least, do you like the program? Would you recommend it?
I cannot emphasize how well this program works. This far beats out any chemical system. Just getting rid of all of the hazardous chemicals, that alone is worth it to me. The benefits of having clean condensers is another good side effect, but just the benefits of getting rid of the hazardous material, I think, is the biggest benefit. The cost savings as well, but I can't emphasize enough just getting rid of the hazards. That's the biggest safety thing for me. Keeps me safe, keeps my crew safe, keeps the environment safe.